Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Budapest Voices podcast. I'm Nasya Zain, your host, and today marks an exciting journey where we will dive into the stories of different women who call Budapest home. The main purpose of this podcast series is to have a different conversations with a women from different career backgrounds and cultures. Whether you're looking for an inspiration or an advice or a glimpse into the lives of women who navigate their own journeys, this podcast is for you. I hope this podcast will not only inspire you, but also empower you to follow your dreams. And today, I'm very excited to introduce our special guest, Maria. She has a fascinating journey. She's originally from Russia, and she lived for 10 years in Switzerland before settling here in Budapest. Not only is she a successful COO at audit company, but also a very talented photographer with a passion to capture beautiful moments. And on top of this everything, she is a mom to 7-year-old son and an active member of our book club. There she brings her love of books and great insights to our every meeting. So we are pleased to have you here with us, Maria. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
So today we will be talking about different topics, but first I want to ask you a question which will help our listeners to get to know you better. If you could describe yourself with just one sentence, what it would be, how this will sound?
Driven, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Very motivated, very driven. I just like to learn things. I have been like this ever since I remember, and I would describe myself as a cockroach. You put me in any place and I will find a way around. I'll find my things. I'm an expat with an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's how it is.
Yeah, I think it's actually very helpful to be able to find yourself in any place and to be able to fit in anywhere you go. So this is a good
thing is,
to have.
You don't really fit in. You just do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just do you, and that's how it goes.
True. So, as I mentioned, today we will be talking about different topics, but because you mentioned that you lived in different countries, I would like to start with this one, because I'm also a person who moved out from home country and lived in Germany before, and now here in Hungary, and same for you, you also changed 3 countries. So I wonder, how has this impacted your personal and professional life? Living in Russia, growing up there probably, and then moving to Switzerland, and then here to Hungary.
So how it affected me, I guess. I learned the hard way that if you want something, you have to go and get it. Nobody ever is going to hand it over to you. And another lesson that I've learned, that everything worth having and worth going for is hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta want it in us. And another lesson is that nobody is gonna believe in you until you actually do it.
And you show that you achieved that,
and then everybody's like, oh my God, you did this and then you did that. But when you're like, hey, I have a crazy idea, how about that? Like, I was like, no, it's not going to work. It's not your thing. Like, you just give up. But you should never do that.
Sometimes I notice that when people don't believe in you or think that you will not succeed in certain things, and then you do this and everything seems so easy outside to the outside.
But you must have been just lucky.
Yeah,
you were there at the right place at the right time. But nobody actually notices the hard work behind it.
Exactly. Yeah. So next is probably you have faced the challenges when moving from country to country, because yes, there are of course a lot of advantages to move across the Europe to meet new people. I'm sure that there are challenges. So which challenges have you faced personally?
Well, there's like, as an expert, you have like different stages of things. The first, when you move into the country, you're so excited. You want to know everything. You're like, yeah, I can do this. This is a cool place. And like, let's go and explore things. Then this phase lasts for like several months to a year. Then you have a phase where you're like, I don't have friends. I'm alone. I'm depressed. Like, I don't want to do anything. And then once you are, I don't know, for some people they stay that way. For some people it just goes beyond. And then when you realize like, oh, I have to do something, like this is the place, like I have to find people, you find your own things. And this is when you start to integrate. So
Yeah.
I think the biggest challenge is when I first moved away to Switzerland from Russia, I was homesick. I missed my friends. I was a teenager, and I think moving as a teenager is very difficult.
Yeah.
Because you're attached to your like bubble. You have your friends, you have your family, you have your grandparents, but feel so lonely and entirely alone, and then there's nobody. But it's in your brain. You have to just move beyond that and actually go out there and find people. This is the most difficult part to find, I guess.
Yes. But how old were you when you moved to Switzerland?
I started moving around when I was 14, and I permanently moved. I went to the UK. The plan was like go to study with my sister to the UK, but it didn't work out. And then we were the first one at 16. I permanently moved out to Switzerland.
So for your studies?
For studies, and then I stayed. And then my entire family moved there as well.
Oh, that's nice. Why did you decide to move from Switzerland to Hungary?
It was okay. it was a slow transition because in between Switzerland and Hungary, I was in Asia for 8 years.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that part.
Yeah, you didn't know that.
Yes,
I leave that out. I left. I lived because I moved in Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, Bali.
Oh, you have such a different.
We tried Australia. We tried what else? Yeah, we tried Singapore, but it is an entirely different environment. The culture shock is there. So for me, when you move from Switzerland to Indonesia, it's like entirely different world, and you just come out of Asia as a different person. Yeah. So the whole like culture shock. That's the thing. So yeah, the question was.
Yeah, so
biggest challenge is the culture shock, that you're lonely, and then the people surround you, they are different. Yes, you still want your family, you're homesick, but I think once you move beyond that, it's just fun.
And also, I think that the older we get, sometimes it's more difficult to find the right people to surround yourself with.
I think it's more difficult to go out there and put yourself out there, because you're in such a, like, once you move beyond 35 years old, everybody keeps on telling me that you have such a bubble, like you have your favorite pillow, you have your favorite mug, you have your own favorite slippers. And once you get to that age, it's very difficult to go like out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
To meet new people, like, oh, I don't feel comfortable, I have to deal with people. I think that's the big fear.
Yeah. I faced the same challenges when I moved here, and even when I moved to Germany for my studies. At the beginning, it was the same. I think it's always about people. If you find the right people, then you start to feel like home, because home is about people.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing these insights about the cultural shock and everything. I cannot even imagine how it was different in Asia. And I would like also to talk about motherhood, because it's also very important, and I think it will be very inspiring if you could share with us how you can balance your personal life, being a mother, and also your work life. But I also know that you have a dog, so I guess you have a lot of responsibilities, Yeah.
I love this situation. How to balance all of this? You don't. It's a mess. It's a chaos. It's a mess. It's never perfect. It's never where you want it to be. It's just hell.
Yeah.
You have to like one way or another. You can't have it all, what they say. But I do have a very supportive husband. Who's there with my son right now.
Same here.
My son is at the age when he's 7, and he's just getting there. Like when they get along, they have things to do together, they share interests, and I'm just very happy. I have a boy, so he can be with his mommy 24/7.
Yeah.
But in terms of balancing, you can't balance all of this. You have to, it's give and take at this point. Yeah. So
do you have time for yourself, like for self-care, or
you don't have
that you have?
You make time. If you really want it, you make time, and then everybody has to like respect it. Like I was when you have a little baby, you are like I don't know, you're like a phoenix. You're just another person. And then once you give your child to the kindergarten, I remember my son was about 7, 8 months old, and then the first time I brought him to the kindergarten, my husband's like, "Let's go to the mall." I'm like, "Why are you so excited? Like, I don't understand what's wrong with you. I'm giving my child the way I am, like very upset." So he brought me to the mall for a coffee. It was like 1 hour, okay, and then I sat down at the bench. I'm like, "I need a mall." And I was there. I was like, I just didn't do anything. Everything was quiet. I was like, what do I do now? Like, I don't know what to do.
You feel empty, right? Like not empty, but
Yeah.
in a way. So
Yeah, like I don't know what to do. Like you have a routine, and then it's all gone.
Yeah.
There's like you don't balance. You just adapt.
But is there some specific things that you daily do just for yourself? You know that it's like me time, even if it's just 5 minutes per day or something, but it's just your time, and you do something you truly enjoy.
I think every woman has this thing. It is depending on whether you are a early person or a late person.
Yeah.
I am a late person. So the moment everybody goes to sleep, I have my glass of wine, I have my book, or it's my favorite K-drama or whatever. I'm into Lord of Rings. I love House of Dragon. I love Henry Cavill. So all of these things. I have my Korean skincare. So I put on the face mask. I do all my hair. I do all the routine. And I just sit down, don't do anything, or just do something with the time when everybody goes to sleep. If I can't do that, I do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Motherhood is insane.
Yeah.
Because like the moment you have a baby, everybody tells you how you should do it, how you should raise your child, but they are actually not there, to help it.
Yeah.
And there's so many expectations of you when you have a child, like only organic or the only this breastfeeding.
Yeah.
There's so much stuff, and your head goes crazy.
Yes. At some point, you feel like you will explode with all the information you have or all the advices that you get from people.
You're gonna go into the corner and cry.
Yeah, true. I can feel you. But now that your son is older, is it easier for you? I mean, with him here in Budapest in particular, how is it life in Budapest with a baby and just to build family here in Hungary? Do you think it's easier than in Switzerland, for example, or?
I don't really know in Switzerland. I never had a baby there, but like considering my parents, my brother was very young when they moved. I mean, in here, everything is made for children. Like there's playgrounds, there's neighborhoods that has a dog park, a playground. I mean, all kind of like, if you want it, you will find it. Like languages, please, here you go, like 10 places to go for languages. I think it's very family friendly here.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Switzerland is that kind of family friendly. First of all, it's expensive comparing to here, Swiss life. Schools are expensive, clothes are expensive, food is expensive, and then all the commute and everything, it's just way more. But yes, you get the higher salary, but at the end, what you receive back is just basic.
Yeah, I find Budapest also very child friendly, and even like when you just have a baby and you go for a walk with a stroller, it's so easy to go around here. But when we were, for example, in Prague or in Paris, it was a bit complicated to go around with a stroller.
Yeah.
So I love Budapest for that too. We had a bit of mixed structure of the topics that we covered, but I want to go to the career part of your life. Like, I would like to ask you, which qualities do you think you own that helped you to grow in your career?
I started like by doing jobs that nobody wanted. And you start a pool secretary, picking up the jobs that nobody wants, and you do them well. Like, I worked in Asia, the workload is ridiculous. It's insane. Like I had a colleague, so she got married and she was walking to the altar and speaking on the phone. My traits, I think, I'm a people. I don't give up. It's like, I really try very hard because I came into, when I was in Switzerland, when I graduated, and then, you enter the system of unemployed with a higher school education with like 1 year of working experience. And the moment you start applying for jobs is we want your education and you will want a work experience, and you're in this never-ending loop
Yeah.
of you have this, you have all of this, but you don't have experience. Your experience is not enough. Even though I did internship for 1 year, it was never enough. And then you have a choice: either you start to be a waiter,
Mm-hmm.
lower paid jobs, or you go to do masters. But but you can't do masters because you don't have enough experience. So you
You
get
need the experience for master.
1 year at least working experience for masters. So you go to this loop, and if you want a really good master's, it's 5, sometimes 3 to 5 years experience. But how you can't get experience because nobody wants to take you. And I started, with a side hustle. So I just left. I'm like, you know what, my husband now, he proposed. I did internship in Jakarta. I have a background of hotel industry. So I worked in a hotel there. I worked with Kempinski in Jakarta, and as a sales and marketing.
Uh-huh.
I worked with the sales director, very lovely lady, but it was tough. And then I worked together with a branding director. They're very lovely people, a lot of Germans. All the leadership is German.
Yeah.
They're very, to the point, but they're trying to fight the agencies. That's lovely. Lovely. It's a clash of cultures in there.
I think when you just start your career, you actually should do all the tasks as you mentioned that nobody else wants to do.
Yes.
But this way, it helps you to show how you can do.
Start small.
Yeah, how you're responsible and everything. After this, your management will see this, and maybe you'll get promoted.
You learn. Like, yeah, when I was working in F&B, I pretty much did the things that nobody wanted. They left me overtime. They left me alone in room service for the night shift. Nobody wants to do that.
Yeah.
But I was like, it was peaceful, and I got very high tips.
Mm-hmm.
In a bar, they also left me like they call the graveyard shift. But it was actually the highest paying clients who were there the last, and I got the higher tips. So
Yeah.
you have to, life gives you lemons, you have to make them up.
Exactly.
My dream was to be a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
And the second one was to be an architect because I know how to draw. I'm really good at drawing.
Uh-huh.
In high school in Russia, I went drawing
Uh-huh.
after school 3 times a week. And after that, I went for like a year. And after that, I stopped.
Oh.
And I don't want, when my mom's like, oh, we really want an architect and everything. And I'm like, I can't do this.
Uh-huh.
I can't do. I remember, like, I had the drawing. It was just a 3D model. I just did this. I broke the pencil.
Oh.
And I can't do this.
Why? Because you really didn't want to, or
No, I used to enjoy drawing. It was a
Uh-huh.
fun thing for me. I really loved it.
okay.
But this whole architect thing turned this into a routine, and I hate it.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't usually like, the artist, where the photography comes from. I have an artistic thing,
Uh-huh.
and I need to get it out.
Yeah. I actually wanted to ask you, like, how
That's gonna be the next thing.
yeah, but you can talk about it already, so yeah.
Yeah, we started. Okay, so the photography thing, how it came
Uh-huh.
into the picture. I have an artistic gift, whatever. My grandfather was a painter,
Uh-huh.
but
You're talented since birth.
no, there's no such. I think it's acquired. Like you see that you like it or you don't like it.
Okay.
You got a gift, but gifts are overrated. It's like, and I have this artistic thing. Like I have an idea,
Uh-huh.
a creative idea, and I will not sleep. I will not eat. Like I have like this,
Yeah.
in my chest. I need to get it out one way or another. Drawing, like
Writing or something.
I stopped painting. I hate it, but the only way for me was photography. I was actually photographing since like 16.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, during the COVID, when I didn't have anything to do, I was like, why don't you just get a license? Sure. I did the whole course. And then now I'm doing another course with the famous photographer. She's half Chinese and Singaporean.
Okay.
Why do I really like her? Do you know the geisha, memoirs of geisha?
Yeah.
And the mom, I always forget her name, Michelle Yao. Yeah, I adore her. And then this photographer she loves her, and now she does a lot of photo shoots with her. I'm like, I like it. So
So
I came back to photography because I was looking for to take pictures of my son when he was born. And I was like, I feel insecure. I don't like the way I look at the pictures. So I was like, I don't want anybody to take pictures of me. I'm already. I don't want to see this.
yeah,
I just want to see the.
yeah.
So I was like, oh, he was my model.
I understand. I did the same for the whole year, especially first year when they're cute. Yeah, they're super cute and super tiny, and you want to capture everything.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. I did the same.
He was my model.
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, yes, topic that I wanted to discuss with you. Yes,
Yes.
and this is very important because that's how we met each other on the book club. So I wanted to ask you, how did you find out about the book club? Why did you decide to join, and what you like the most?
So, how did I find the book club? You know, Instagram is always this thing.
Yeah.
And I have a best friend.
Uh-huh.
We are together since high school, and we're always reading something. But she has a baby now, so I can't, like, we were on the phone 24/7. Like, she got me into the Sarah's books. And she's like, you have to read this.
Uh-huh.
And then obviously you're bursting out with energy. You have to, like, once you read this, I'm like, I can't, like, she's like, I can't. Just whatever. Just go talk to somebody else. And then I was scrolling on Instagram, always listening. And then I got the notification. I'm like, oh my God, I need to go there. So my husband's like, I can't listen to this anymore. Just go talk to somebody else. I'm like, but you don't understand. I have to tell somebody. And then I read a lot. And I was so happy that there's people who also exist beside me. When I can discuss it, I don't like this. Like, you know, like, there's dragons has 4 legs, you know? Not 2. What's the difference between a dragon and a wyvern?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like Sheldon Cooper. Yeah, I am nerdy. And I get obsessed about like little things. Like I am that person. If you bring me to the movie and I read the book, I'm like, the book is better. Right?
Always.
The book is not as better.
Yeah.
It's so much different. Look,
Most favorite book that you always recommend to book lovers?
there's no such thing. Like the library is so vast. I think. Let me think about it. I read this book. It's a tiny, and it's just it stuck to my mind. I read it in maybe year 9. It's a tiny book, pink. It's called Notes on the Refrigerator. It's about the daughter and mother relationship and the whole escalation, how mother got sick, and then eventually the daughter, the mother passed away, and the daughter puts the sticky notes,
Okay.
and then it's So at first I just started milk, eggs, you know, and then how they exchange notes, and then you see the whole relationship, and then the whole thing. I think that's the one that really stick to my mind. That's it.
Okay, good. Last question, really very last question. Is there any advice that you would give to a young generation that would inspire and help them on their personal or professional life?
Like general advice?
Yes.
I think you do you. Start small and don't take shit for it from anyone.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to grow a pair and stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
Because nobody else will.
Yeah, it's very important to stand up for yourself and to love yourself, I think.
Yeah,
it's important. Thank you a lot for coming here today and for participating and being the very first guest of my podcast.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.